I'm going to start off this time. I'm just going to play something here, and then you're going to react to it.
I know what you're going to play.
Super fighting robot, Megaman. Super fighting robot, Megaman. Super fighting robot.
So what does that make you think of?
Is that Mega Man 8?
No, that is the Mega Man cartoon.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. You could have played the Mega Man 8 song and it would have elicited a more vile response for sure.
I can't even remember what the Mega Man 8 theme was like. I remember a lot of the others.
Yeah, Mega Man 8 was extremely forgettable. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cartoon.
Yeah,
Very nice. Very
so you didn't
nice.
watch the cartoon then?
Not really. I remember it, but I've always been kind of. I touched on this before, I think, but whenever there's like a spin-off TV series or movie series or something off a video game, I tend to be quite negative towards it. So.
Well, clearly you're only negative towards it because you didn't watch it.
I was gonna say this is certainly that exception I should have made. Right?
It was actually pretty terrible.
Of course, yes. Did you see the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon? Did you see the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon?
Which one?
Yeah, I know. There was like 4 of them. The good one, and you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it.
I watched a couple of them, so I'm not sure. There were 2 that were played simultaneously.
Yeah, there was
one that was on like Monday through Friday, and then there was another one that was on Saturday.
Yeah. That was so weird. There was at least 3. I'm 100% positive I've seen at least 3 cartoons with Sonic the Hedgehog from that era.
Probably.
Yeah, but there was the kind of the high production quality one with like the cool theme song and stuff that amongst my main friend group at the time anyway was, I don't know, considered acceptable. And then there was like the really cartoony, like silly ones, which were both of the other 2, and everyone hated those.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember. I remember the Sonic ones being okay.
All of them? You know, right now on Netflix,
one
of the bad ones is on there. Maybe you can refresh your memory.
I was never really that much of a Sonic fanboy. I liked Sonic 2, and I tried to like Sonic 1, but I sucked at it so much that it was hard to enjoy it. And I don't know, I remember having the comics, or a couple of the comics at least, and I don't know, Sonic just didn't really click with me. I don't think.
I see. I can almost say the same thing, but actually maybe that's why I liked the show. It didn't have that God, they're ruining my favorite video game kind of silly, as you say, fanboy-ish approach or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
I'm gonna try to load up another audio clip here and see if maybe you'll react slightly differently to it.
Oh, let's hear it.
It's I should have planned this out ahead of time. Oh, here we go. Just a second. Okay, let me turn my sound back up. I've got a very complicated setup here where I'm like playing audio through my phone into my sound box thing.
Yeah, we're extremely
here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here you go. I'm sure that one kicks up a little bit more of the nostalgia for you.
I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face, and I'm trying not to, rock out along. Is that your own recording of yourself playing that?
I meant to do my own, but apparently I grabbed the wrong MP3.
When I got a guitar in like I guess grade 12, that was I think the first song I tried to learn. That was the first one, that exact song. So I can, to this day, with some slight level of competency, almost kind of play that a little bit. Yes, that is an awesome intro song to an awesome game. That's my statement of the night.
All right. So yeah, I think it was your idea to have like a Mega Man nerd fest today.
Well, I
so.
like these. I especially if it's a series we're both really familiar with, because it's just fun to flesh out what we liked and disliked and kind of contrast them.
Yeah, I think we were like kind of on the verge of it last week when I was mentioning Mighty Number 9, and then we stuck on topic.
Yeah, which is a rarity. So, which Mega Man games have you played, by the way?
Good question. It's been so long since I played some of them that I can't quite remember which ones were which, but I'm pretty sure I played the first 6. I'm pretty sure I've played all of the 1 through 10.
Yes, yeah.
I have a really difficult time remembering what 5 and 7 were like.
Interesting.
But I'm pretty sure I played all of those. I've got the X collection and the regular collection on like the GameCube, I think, or PlayStation 2. So I've played some of the arcade games that weren't released here, and the racing game, Mega Man Soccer.
So hold on, have you played the awesome fighter game that was arcade only?
Yeah.
I have a main box here, and I played that for the first time recently, actually. So I'm like you, I guess. I played the first 10, and then as far as X goes, I've kind of dabbled in 1 through 3, but haven't gotten farther than that. So
I can't remember ever playing 4, X4, and I did not play X6 or beyond, and I didn't play any of the Game Boy Advance ones. So like none of the Zero series or Mega Man EX or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. You played Mega Man Legends, right?
Yeah, I beat the first one and I didn't beat the second one. That was back in the days of rentals and
yes,
not necessarily having all the time you wanted to play the game before it had to go back.
Back in those days. The other one we're missing here is Rockman, or I guess Mega Man World, if you've played any of those.
Was that the Genesis one?
No, those were the original Game Boy ones. Those ones were interesting, actually, because they started... So I think there's 1 through 5, and the first 2 or 3 are like literally just portable, miniaturized, or I don't know if that's the word, kind of like... They're just like little versions of the actual Rockman game whose number they share. So like Rockman World 2 is like Mega Man 2 with just 4 enemies. And then since it's on Game Boy and it's a fairly early Game Boy game, it's all like... It's weird. It's like he takes up a lot of the screen and the controls are kind of weird. But then as the series went on, it got more... They kind of started adding custom robots and stuff to them. So by the time you got to Rockman World 5... it was like its own game finally. I don't know if a lot of people played them.
I played the first one, but it was my older brother that had the Game Boy, and he traded it off for other substances at one point, so I didn't get a chance to play very many Game Boy games.
Got it. I've been the beneficiary of a lot of systems from people doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really. I definitely played the crap out of the originals, and I remember really liking Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 to the point where back then that was when Nintendo Power was still coming out, and I remember making one of those envelope artwork things of Mega Man X3 and sending that in.
Did you get featured?
But I honestly have no idea. I think I sent that like at the end of my subscription, and I just never bothered to renew my subscription. So.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it wasn't published, but maybe it was.
I honestly, without any kidding, I might have the Nintendo Power. I certainly have an enormous stack in my parents' basement, so I might have the issue that had all the featured artwork, and I could check for you.
Nice. It would have been in '96, maybe.
Oh, I might not have it then. Yeah. So they switched the spines eventually, and like it was more like a traditional magazine without like it didn't have like a flat spine. It had the curved spine, and that's when I stopped
Right.
the subscription. I don't know why that was like so offensive to me. Like it seemed like such a drop in quality or something. And that was certainly I think before '96. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check. No.
Nuts.
Yes.
So do you remember the first time you played a Mega Man game?
I do actually. So I remember. I don't know what it was, but when I was growing up, I tended to have like the crappiest games ever. I don't know if it was my parents picking poorly or me not like, I don't know, pushing for the right games or something. But I had a neighbor, or I guess there was the family across the street. There was 5 kids, and the 2 older brothers were like crazy about games. And they had an awesome collection. So most of my cherished memories of like games people have heard of are like me going to their house and playing them. And so anyway, they had Mega Man 3. So I know it feels like everyone I talked to grew up with Mega Man 2, but 3 was the one that really for me was like my nostalgia game. It's the one I grew up with. It's the one I loved. It's the one that for me was Mega Man. And to this day, even I don't know. A lot of people will, if they like arrange them by how much they like them, it's 2 that gets the accolades. But I'm still I push for 3, not just out of nostalgia, but for other reasons. So, they had recently acquired the game when I first played it, so it wasn't like they were like, "Here's this game we've beaten." We kind of beat it together, it was awesome at the time. I mean, I certainly didn't really have any platformers. I probably had some. I certainly had some, but nothing like of that quality. Plus, just everything that makes a Mega Man game from that era a lot of fun, just with the hot-blooded soundtrack and whatever, competent level design, blah blah blah. So yeah, how about you?
I just tried looking it up on Google Maps, but of course the store doesn't exist anymore. But back before I lived in Truro, when I lived in Amherst, of course we would rent games all the time. And I remember going into one rental store in particular where they had a good selection of Nintendo games. Like they'd have a Boy and His Blob and a bunch of the other contemporary masterpieces. And I remember seeing the box art for Mega Man 1, and my brother was just like completely not interested in that one at all. He went off to look at movies and stuff instead. But I was just like, okay, well, there's this dude with a gun. And I don't know, if it's something, as much as everyone gives shit to that cover art for that first Mega Man
worked
game,
for you.
it worked for 5-year-old me. So I decided to give it a go, and we rented that, and I loved it.
Nice.
I can't remember if I've actually finished that game or not. Like I remember getting to Wily's castle and like fighting a clone of yourself. And I don't really remember whether or not I beat that. But it was definitely very appealing to me at the time. And so I became hooked on Mega Man. So
Nice, from the first
I
one.
ended up that was my first one, and then I ended up buying Mega Man 2 from a friend of my brother's.
Nice.
And ended up getting playing the shit out of that. That one I've definitely beat several times. Same with Mega Man 3. I remember we got that at one point. I can't remember. I must have bought that one secondhand too. But I remember that one being particularly amazing to me because it was just so much above and beyond what the other games had been.
That's my opinion as well, yes.
Like from Mega Man 2, I think they really solidified the gameplay from the first one. Like they got rid of all the weird arcadey point systems, and there was more robot masters, and everything just had this feeling of refinement. Like the music was just that much better, and there was like a story at the very beginning and stuff.
Everything you touched on, and passwords, which was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in 3, it was like that theme that I started earlier was like, I don't know, like right from the very first few notes, that game seemed amazing. And then it just continuously got better. It's like you got to the point where you thought you beat all of the robot masters, and then you end up fighting like the ghosts of the robot masters from Mega Man 2.
Which was awesome. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
And
I love that. And I felt like they were so much harder because you didn't get any of the special weapons from Mega Man 2. So it's like, even if you were good at Mega Man 2, it was like super challenging. Yeah. And then, they incorporated the slide mechanic.
The slide mechanic, I thought, was a game maker. Because, I mean, so remember, I started with 3. Like, people who didn't, that was new, that was crazy, I'm sure. But for me, I started with 3. So going back to 2, it was like, I can't slide? Whoa, right? Like, that was a big deal to me.
And I was like that when I finally picked up, like, Mega Man 9 and 10.
Everybody was.
When they remade those. I was just like, why can't I slide?
Yep.
It seemed like so incredibly obvious that needed to be part of the mechanics.
Yep.
And the one thing that I abused the heck out of, there was like a debug option
with the second controller.
I guess apparently that wasn't supposed to be in the final game. It was like a debug thing that just didn't get removed at the end.
Love it.
But yeah, you could like I would like pile books on the second controller to like hold the button down, and then you could jump into pits and get immortality and stuff.
Yeah. So like I said, I always played it at my friend's house, so it was always a 2-person effort in my experience, but yes, yep, I'm aware of that one. 3, you're missing Rush. Rush was another big addition. I mean, 2,
I never really cared about Rush.
I liked I thought it was fun. I know 2 had the special weapons and 1 kind of had the special things, but I don't know, they just took that and added some more character to it, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I was obviously already used to the platforms in 2, so the fact that they turned it into a dog, whatever, it didn't faze me.
Fair enough.
I never really liked dogs at all, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like 2 and 3 are the ones that get. I mean, those are the 2 everyone remembers anyway.
Yeah. It's like I felt like, if you played the first one and you liked it, you were pretty set from then on, because they just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
And then I feel like after 3, in 4, I remember them adding the Mega Buster that you could charge. And I feel like that was kind of it for the innovation.
Did you like? Can I? Can I interject very quickly? Did you like the Mega Buster?
Yeah. I don't really remember caring.
Yeah, I don't know.
I liked it a lot in Mega Man X. It felt important in X.
Right. That's fair.
But it didn't.
I feel like Go.
I think my problem with it was in 4 was didn't you find it in one of the levels?
I don't think so. I don't remember, honestly.
I thought you found it in Skullman's level.
Really? I thought you started with it. You might be thinking of X. X, you have to like get all your pieces, right?
I'm going to have to Google this.
So 4, my problem with it is I just felt it like, I don't think it broke the game, but, using it was kind of necessary. Like, I found 4 very hard. I found it one of the harder Mega Man games, and you just had to have that charged all the time. Always. So you'd walk onto some screen, and then something would jump at you, and you have to unleash it, and then follow up with a few more normal shots, or else you're going to take a lot of hits. And so they kind of designed the game around this idea that you'd have this Mega Buster, and that's okay, and it's cool. But I don't know. I did. When I go back right now and play, like, say 3, I don't miss it. It just felt like an annoying thing they added that you had to do. If anything, it was a chore. If anything.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually a cool little feature in Mega Man 2. You could actually charge up Heatman's weapon.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, there was like the occasional weapon, like the Metal Man blades or the Shadow Man's blades, where you could throw them in multiple directions and stuff. So I don't know. It was interesting, but it didn't feel like a huge innovation to me. And like you said, if you had to just kind of keep it charged all the time in order to get by regular enemies and stuff, it did kind of feel not amazing.
Yeah.
To me.
Not amazing.
So I don't know. I feel like those first three games were just like ace, and then after that, like 4 was okay, and then I just kind of didn't care so much about the rest.
I see. Was it you?
And then 8.
8. Oh God. Yeah. Not a lot of nice things to say about 8. Was it you, I think, who had like number 4 and you dropped it in the snow or something?
Yeah.
That sticks out to
was
me
a
as
tragic...
the weirdest story. I don't know. Like of all games.
That was a tragic memory for me.
Well, 4 is quite... I mean, nowadays it's a relatively rare cartridge, so I don't know, you threw away some money too, man.
Yeah, because my next door neighbor, looking back, I think maybe she had a crush on me. I'm not sure, but at the time I was just like, she wants to come over and play video games. This is awesome.
But did she?
And that's all I cared about, was the fact that we were playing video games.
Nice.
And yeah, I remember I took Mega Man 4 over to her house one time, and then I guess I must have dropped it in the snow on the way home, and didn't get to discover it until the springtime when everything had melted. And
brutal.
Yeah.
So was it worth it?
Was it worth losing Mega Man 4? No, man. That's
for a girl, man.
Like I said, I mean, I was completely naive at the time and had no idea of the opposite sex at all. So this would have been like grade 6 or 7, and I just, other than video games, I didn't really care about much else.
Yeah, I was totally scared of anything female in like grade 6. I'm pretty sure.
Although I do remember at the same time, I must have been starting my interest in movies at the same time, because I remember during the summer, back in like grade 6 or 7, sitting on one of our lounge chairs in our backyard, penning the script to a Mega Man movie.
Was it? It couldn't have been too deep an interest if it was just games you wanted to port over to this new medium of discovery.
Well, I mean, I had seen Jurassic Park enough times at that point that I was able to recite all the lines.
Awesome. Oh man, sweet.
And probably the same with the Ninja Turtles movie.
That one I can. Yeah, I have a. I'll share your enthusiasm for, or I did at the time anyway. So how about you skipped one particular Mega Man game that I personally fucking hate, but how about Mega Man 7?
That's what I said. I don't really remember it.
Oh,
like
God.
that had the introduction of bass in it, didn't it?
Maybe, yeah, maybe, I can't remember. I think so. You know,
Mega Man 7. Yeah, so bass was definitely in Mega Man 7. So that was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it was.
I definitely played it when it came out and
Don't remember.
played it all the way through. But I haven't played it since then. So like I said, I got the Mega Man collection on PlayStation 2. So when I first got that, I think I played through the first 6 games. But then I just kind of had other things to do, and I never finished going through the rest.
Got it. That's fair. Okay, well, let me think of my, I guess from my point of view, the whole series, or those early ones. So you don't really remember one. You said one. I remember. So one was definitely
One I remember. I can't remember if I beat
yeah.
it.
So one was like you said, it had the point system and all that. But the thing that particularly stands out to me is just like I don't know, the level of craftsmanship is quite a lot lower than the rest of the series. So like the enemies just look kind of silly and the backgrounds are very static and uninteresting, and it's just like the series did certainly hit its stride starting with 2. So one, if you've played all the rest of them and then you go back to it, those things kind of really stand out to me. And then obviously, there's only 6 enemies and there's no slide and blah blah blah. But overall, I mean, it's a fun game. And then one thing I think it's really difficult if you do go back and play it. It's like the last section, you have to refight all the bosses, and you fight 2 at a time without anything in between. And by that time, you have all the weapons, but it's still really tough. And then like.
It was a tough game. I mean, you took a lot of damage from them, I think.
You do, yeah. And it's like, just, I don't know. Again, going back to the craftsmanship, sometimes like a very well-crafted game might even just be kind of easy. Or rather, to put it the other way, an uncrafted game can be hard just because like the controls aren't quite there yet, or like the level design is just a little too unforgiving. And there was a lot of that in 1, especially later, I thought. So, tough game. But overall, fun. Everything you said about 2 and 3, I pretty much spot on agree with. And those, I think 2 and 3 are the most memorable for music to me. They're a lot of fun.
They were ace. And I liked the music from the first one as well.
Video and Arcade Top 10.
No, that was Mega Man 2.
Yes.
That was Crash Man stage.
Yes, you're right. Sorry. Well, you gloss over 4, 5, 6, so I can kind of touch on those. 4, I thought was okay. I don't know. 4 was like, so 3 was admittedly 2 and 3 were on the easy side, I guess, and then 4, I don't know. It's just like, to me anyway, this very, very difficult game. I found it very difficult. If you did the bosses in the right order, it wasn't so bad, but it was just like maybe they said, we 2 and 3 were easy, let's make this extremely hard one. That was what still after multiple playthroughs sticks out to me, is just how difficult it was. And then you had the Buster, and that was kind of annoying, but overall the craftsmanship was there. Like the visuals were awesome, the level design was awesome, the music was still awesome, everything was still super awesome. So overall, thumbs up.
I'm watching a playthrough of Mega Man 4 right now, and Skullman's level was, I mean, the artwork is all great. Like there's a couple spots where the tiling on the backgrounds was pretty weak, but
you could probably
the artwork was great.
Right.
I remember there was stuff like, I think it was Pharaoh Man stage or Crystal Man stage or something, where like you could actually like go off on a slightly different route.
Was that 4? I think 5 did that as well, where each level was shaped like there was 2 ways to do each level, and you could split at different. There's like one point where you could choose that path. There's like a fork in the road in every level. I think you totally skipped over 5. 5 to me was a super awesome game, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's one of those late ones, I don't like those. But I thought 5 was awesome. It was definitely on the easy side, but it was really well done. I thought the levels were really fun. The music was awesome again. I liked it about as much as 3. And the boss and just everything. I thought it was a fantastic game, honestly. It was.
I remember Charge Man and Star Man and Gyro Man and Crystal Man. Yeah, so I did definitely play this game, but my recollection of it's pretty minimal.
No, okay, fair enough. Well, I think a lot of people, maybe they were just, I mean, as you say, the innovation had, I guess, kind of stopped by this point, so it's just another Mega Man game to people. But I don't know, I really, really enjoyed it, and I liked. Like in the other games, you had all the special items and stuff. This one had the Super Arrow, which is the coolest special item in all of Mega Man, in my opinion. I don't know if you remember it.
Not really.
I guess you didn't share my view. It was really cool. So it was a special weapon, and it was just like any of your other special weapons, but it was like this giant arrow thing that you could ride on, or you could just use it as a weapon, or you could like cling it to walls. And by the time you got it, I don't know, it's almost like they knew you'd be using it. So there's a lot of levels where you had to like use it in tricky ways. So you'd shoot it and jump on it, and then shoot it again and jump off and onto the other arrow, and like you'd have to maneuver through it, kind of vertically up through that section of the stage using this item. I don't know. I thought it was really, really cool. And overall, just a really fun game. Late stage Mega Man. It's almost like, it felt like if you just play a lot of older Nintendo games in general, like when you start playing those ones that are from like 92, 93, like just those really late stage Nintendo and Famicom games, a lot of them, it's just like the companies had already been making Nintendo games for like 5, 6, 7 years. They mastered it. And there's just a lot of games that really push the system in a lot of ways, and they look really beautiful and play really well. And this just really felt like one of those games to me. It felt like the Mega Man game that had that late system feel to it. And I think that all of those games suffered because by 92, 93, no one cared anymore, right? Everyone was playing Super Nintendo and Genesis and whatever else.
Yeah.
So a lot of them people don't even remember, but they tend to be really good games. So 5 was great. 6, I joined the same camp as everyone else finally. 6 really, to me, I don't know what it was. It just felt so tired.
The rush suit.
The whatever it was called, where you had like the super punch and the jet thing. I think so. If they never made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just made 6, I'm sure we'd all be sitting here talking about how cool of a game it was. Really.
Yeah, it would have been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's still fun, and I can sit down and play it and have fun. But the whole time I play it, I always just wish I was playing like 5 or 3 or something. So 6, I don't know. It's a good game, but there's zero innovation, and I do think it's just not as. I almost feel like the level design and stuff also is a little tired. Like it.
Yeah.
I think too. By the time people get to 6, no one starts at 6, right? I mean, a lot of people start at 2 or start at 3, so they've already played through so many Mega Man games. They're just like, So I don't know. wrong time, wrong everything for 6 maybe.
I remember really liking Nightman's music.
Oh yeah, dun 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 dun. Yeah. That was cool. All the games have great music. I don't know. One might have the worst music, to be honest, when I think of it.
I feel like that was actually one of the things that made us friends early on was the music. I don't remember how exactly it came up in like an art class or something, but you ended up like burning a CD and giving it to me of like all the chip tunes from Mega Man games and stuff. And I was like, okay, this guy's cool.
It was probably art class because I remember you drew like I forget what it was. It was like you in a Mega Man suit. And
I like drew myself as one of the characters from Mega Man X5, I think.
Awesome. I was like, holy shit, someone who likes games. Like all my friends were like into movies or like, I don't know, like sports or stuff that, was far lower on the coolness scale. That's funny. Mega Man 7, I hated. I thought it was a really bad game. It wasn't just like, I'm tired of Mega Man, come on, do something different. It was like a bad game to me. I don't know if you have enough recollection.
I remember not enjoying the shift in graphics.
That was awful. So like Mega Man in the old ones, he took up a perfect proportion of the screen, I thought. You can see him, you can make him out, you can make out his cute little expressions, everything, And then 7, he's like triple the size. And he's all detailed and stuff. I don't know if they were trying to like show off like this.
They were obviously trying to make it Super Nintendo amazing graphics, but
definitely.
I don't know. Like I felt like maybe this goes back to what we were saying last week with how when they made the Metroid Prime games, it would have been nicer if they just made a new franchise or something. It's like I don't necessarily like it when a franchise is taken in a completely new graphical direction like that.
I agree. It goes back to our discussion on gameplay versus flavor. Like, what is it that is linking this series? Is it the gameplay or is it the flavor? Is kind of how I think. So if the game veers in an entirely different direction, it can be kind of jarring for me, even if it's familiar faces and familiar characters. Although at the time, I would argue, like we had been used to pixelated Mega Man, right? And if you look at the official artwork from a lot of the older Mega Man games, and especially by the time you get to 8, it's really like cutesy. But I didn't feel that from the actual game itself. So 7 is the first one where it's really like, whoa, it's like cutesy, man. I don't know, that did not appeal to me. 7, I don't know. 7's just forgettable. It's just a Super Nintendo platformer that feels like a very inferior Mega Man, and it was just not that fun to me.
I'm looking at a picture right now of like a giant robot carrying Mega Man and Roll in like the back of a train, and it's like,
That
yeah. So 7 was where they really started getting into like you collected bolts and stuff and had to trade those for power ups
Yeah.
and stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I wasn't a fan of that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. I remember Turbo.
But it's interesting, right? Because like Mega Man X was coming out at around the same time period on the Super Nintendo, and
I think it came out first, even actually.
maybe Mega Man 7 came out 95.
Oh, it definitely
Mega
came
Man
out
X came out 93. Yeah, so it's like, you know, they were both Super Nintendo games, but I think X managed to do it a whole lot better.
Well, I might be in the minority camp, but I never understood why they went. I might be. This might be a contradiction of what I just said, maybe, but I didn't feel. I felt like X to me felt like a sensible progression of the Mega Man series. So I always thought like Mega Man X could have been Mega Man 7, and X2 could have been.
Yeah.
That would have not been a jarring thing for me, and that would have felt like a very clean, nice, awesome line of games. And I almost feel like at Capcom, I have no idea, of course, but my take at the time was like, oh, we're done with Mega Man. Now they're making Mega Man X for the new generation. Almost like
Yeah.
with, I don't know, some other series. Nothing's coming to mind, of course. I don't know, Saga or whatever. It's like they kind of rename the series when you get to the newer system and just go with it. And that was cool. And, you know, the gameplay is still super solid. The game's super fun. And then they suddenly went back to 7 and made this, in my opinion, really poor game. I don't know what that was about. It felt really weird to me. And then they went and made 8. And 8 was I mean, are you done yet? Like, so 7 was forgettable, but 8 was like, I don't know if you liked 8.
Eight's like they're trying to kill the franchise or something. It's like someone was basically like really pissed off at Inafune, and they're just like, "Fuck you! You're making this shit."
8 was so bad to me. I mean, I really disliked it. I don't know. 7 and 8 are both pretty sour experiences for me, but 8 was like 7 decorated with even more of what I hate, even more of like the cutscenes and cutesiness and like the level design and his voice and just everything. The game itself was, in my opinion, not that fun and not interesting, but they really ruined it with everything they kind of covered it with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it has the infamous whatever Dr. Wily voice and the
Yeah. So did you ever play the Japanese version? Like, is it just as terrible with the voice acting, or was that purely America dropping the ball?
Purely America. Well, Japan, they're very cutesy. It's not like Dr. Elmer Fudd or anything, but it's really cutesy. And the one thing about the Japanese version is like all the cutscene music is different.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if it's better or worse. It's like this it sounds like this early 90s like passion rock song about Mega Man. And they replaced it with like awful sounding radio music, elevator music-y stuff for the American one, and they're both awful. They're just both awful, everything. Yeah, definitely the American one felt like more of a rushed effort, but that doesn't mean the Japanese one was good by any means.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's the stuff.
But I've never seen this type on Earth. I don't know where this energy came from, but you cannot let it fall into Dr. Wily's hands. You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wily.
We must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
I will say, I don't remember Dr. Wily's laugh being so incredibly awesome, though. That was intense. Everything else about that was trash. But God. Yeah. And then, I mean, kind of moving on, 9 and 10. 9, I like both games, actually. They're just really, really fun, really well-crafted experiences. I miss the slide in both very much. But, I mean, I think they accomplished exactly what they set out to be. It's like, well, everyone loved those old Mega Mans. Everyone hated 7 and 8. let's just go back. It's been a long time. People aren't really
Yeah.
sick of them anymore. Let's prove we can make an awesome game again. And anyone who's actually interested in this probably played through all of those. Is probably a long time gamer and probably good at games. Let's make them goddamn crazy hard. And then
And
they accomplished it.
My favorite thing about Mega Man 9 was getting to play as Proto Man.
Yeah.
I think you had to pay extra to do that, but I
Yeah.
totally did it. And playing as Proto Man, he was. I don't know what it was about him, like the mysteriousness of the sunglasses, or like the whole shady aspect of how he was introduced in 3, but he seemed like such a cool character to me.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool. You should have liked 5 then, where he's like framed and he's kind of the bad guy, and then he comes back.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
yeah. I always thought that both him and Zero were really cool characters.
Yeah, yeah. I think, couldn't you play as Forte or bass or whatever in
Bass.
10?
Yeah, and I think I did that too.
Yeah. It was actually harder, I thought. You could like slide
Yeah.
and shoot in multiple directions, right? But you had half the health, if I remember.
Yeah,
Did
and your weapon was like half as strong.
Yeah. Did you beat 10? 10 was, I don't know, 10 was hard to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I don't think I've beaten it. I think it's the only one I haven't beaten. I beat 1 through 9, and then not 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I beat both 9 and 10 as Mega Man, and I beat 9 as Proto Man and 10 as Bass.
Cool.
And then I like tried those little bonus challenge mode
Oh, yeah.
garbage things, which I never enjoy. I never enjoy boss rushes or
Me
any of
too.
that shit that's slapped on the side.
Never, ever. No, not for me. Right. Very, very interesting. Focusing on these older games for a moment. I always found it amusing. I mean, it's famous now, but at the time, no one had any idea. Just kind of the renaming of everything from the Japanese ones.
Yeah, I honestly, except for Mega Man X5, I've got like no concept of any of them being renamed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure obviously it's called Rockman, which,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like all the individual robots, but
Oh, well, that too, right? So Rockman, well, it's weird to me that they rename Rockman to Mega Man, but they didn't rename Roll. Like in the Japanese one, it was Rock
Yeah.
and Roll, right? It was just this obvious little silly pun, or not pun, well, I
Yeah.
don't know, just this fun little thing they were doing. And then here they rename him Mega Man and leave Roll. It was just really kind of bizarre to me. But then they went and renamed everybody else too, right? Like Proto Man is Blues in the Japanese one, right?
right.
And Bass is Forte, and I forget who else, if there's other people. The bad guys were all the same, but they kind of took the whole music thing and just threw it out completely. Except Bass, I guess, is music. His
Proto Man was blues, and actually it was Thomas Wright, not Thomas Light.
sure, which is just an interpretation of the Japanese, of course. But the other thing that's interesting, I thought, is that all the Japanese games had subtitles too. If you did not know that,
Oh right, yeah.
which was interesting actually. I don't know, for what it's worth. Like 5 was called like Blues' Trap and all this stuff. I don't know why they wiped it. Maybe they just didn't. I don't know. They went for a different theme. And then actually the in X, the whole X series, all those names were different too. It was the same kind of thing in the Japanese one where they stopped calling them like Whatever Man. Now it was like just kind of weird,
Spark Mandrill.
yeah, stuff like that. But it was different. I don't even remember which is which. They have like just weird names. But
I'm like flipping through my R20 plus 5 book right now, which is the
I thought about buying that and I never did.
I did. I love the artwork so much.
That's funny. I was never a huge fan of the Rockman artwork, Mega Man artwork. It never. I mean, I like it. It's cool, but I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a huge fan by any means.
And of course, I haven't learned. I've forgotten all my katakana enough that I can't even read any of these subtitles to you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, there's actually some of it's in kanji as well. So I remember Mega Man 2 was like Dr. Wily's Revenge or something.
Yeah,
but-
I can't even remember them myself actually. I remember 5 was like Blues Trap or whatever. I could do my own quick search here. Mega Man games. Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wowie.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Dr. Wily's Mystery of Dr. Wily. The End of Dr. Wily was number 3. Number 4 is like a new, what's the word? Ambition, I guess. 5 is Blues Trap. 6 is like the biggest battle in history. 7 is like, I guess like showdown of destiny kind of. 8 is nothing. Metal Heroes. Oh yeah, I remember that. Didn't they say that in the English one too? Maybe they didn't.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
Metal-
I think it was just Mega Man 8.
And then the awful song that was in the game was called Metal Heroes. I remember that. Ridiculous. Yeah, and then did you ever play I don't know what they even called it in English. It was floating around as a Japanese only game so long, but Rockman and Forte?
No, I didn't. They ended up re-releasing that on Game Boy Advance,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, they did way after the fact. So when I was first getting into like emulation and stuff, Rockman and Forte was like one of those like Japan only prize games, and if you have an emulator, you can play it, man. Oh, whoa! And it was like so cool at the time. Going back, it's a fun game, but it kind of suffers from the same stuff 7 does, in my opinion, where like I don't know, he just takes up a very large portion of the screen, and the level designs feel a little uninspired to me. But it felt like what they, I guess, tried to do with 7, they accomplished a lot more so with Rockman and Forte, to me.
Yeah. So, have you ever like nerded out to the point where you've bought like any of the soundtracks or action figures or anything?
You know, I haven't for Mega Man, which is funny, because I know you probably have like a room of stuff.
You know, I never bought any of the soundtracks. I considered it, but I just didn't. But yeah, I've got a few Mega Man toys. Like now that I'm an adult, if there's anything that I immediately want that I can afford, I tend to just buy it.
Right.
So when it comes to like birthdays or Christmas, there's rarely anything that I even feel like asking for.
Yep, I hear you.
So there was like one year where my mother-in-law was like really harassing my wife to like figure out what I wanted, and so I was just like, I don't know, just get me a Mega Man toy. So she did. She totally got me a little Mega Man toy that came with Rush and one of those little hard hat
Oh, nice.
guys. And
Is it awesome?
yeah, so I've got one of those, and then last year I was in one of the comic book shops in Vancouver, and they had those like little. One thing that's really common now is like, I can't remember. I think we were talking at one point about like how we would buy like trading cards. Oh no, sorry, that was a conversation with someone completely else. But yeah, like back in the day, like we used to all buy hockey cards and baseball cards and shit just because that was like what every kid did.
I had Ninja Turtles cards and Ghostbusters cards. Ghostbusters from the cartoon, Turtles from the cartoon, and the movie.
Yeah, and so like the whole idea behind those is that you're tricking kids into gambling because you've got these little mystery packs full of shit that's random odds of getting it, and they have no choice but to just keep buying it to get what they want.
Yep.
And that's like really common with toys now. Like you get toys that come in these mystery boxes, and you have no idea what it is that you're gonna buy.
Yeah.
So I gambled on one of those last year. There's like a collection of Mega Man toys, and I was like, okay, I will buy one of these. I wish I knew exactly what I was getting, but I'll just get it anyway. So I now have a Bomb Man toy.
Okay, well that's not too bad, is it?
No,
It's not like some crap from 7 or something.
yeah.
It's like,
I really wanted Proto Man or Mega Man or something, but I was fine with Bomb Man. He's suitably nerdy looking enough.
there's Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
that's cool. I was just gonna say in Japan, these things have been around forever, and it's the same deal, but they call them they're gacha machines, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
And they're here too. I've seen them around, but I mean, there it's like just a thing. Like they're on every corner, kind of level of prevalence. And anyway, last time I was there, I found there was like a set of Zelda. I don't know what you call them, pen extenders, I guess, and they had one from every Zelda game. And I
Yeah.
only had enough for 3, and I wanted like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 and then the Super Nintendo Zelda. So I put the money in and I got the Zelda 1, and I put the money in and I got Zelda 2, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And I put the money in to get Zelda 3, and the machine got clogged. So we went and told the person, they opened it, and they're like, just choose whatever one you want. I was like, yes, and I choose the third one. So with exactly enough to buy 3, I got the 3 I wanted out of like 10 or something. Yes.
Nice.
Awesome story, right? But anyway, I understand the frustration of gambling for the specific toy you want.
Yeah. What was nice is they actually had like a selection that they pre-opened, and then they would like mark a little sticker on the box to show which one it was,
Right.
but none of them were what I wanted specifically, so I had to do the gamble.
Got it. Got it. Okay, well, I guess you want to quickly move on to the X series. I don't have a lot to say, to be honest. X was a great game. I loved the music. Everyone loves that one. Who is it? The Eagle guy?
Storm Eagle.
I think so. Is it him with the cool that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Just everything. I like the finding the weapons. Actually, was a lot of fun. The Hadoken was kind of ridiculous, but overall, a lot of fun. And then 2 I've played, and 3, but I actually have not beaten them, so I'm gonna withhold comment.
3 was... I remember really, really liking the gameplay of that. Like, you could collect suits of armor and stuff. Like, I think in...
You can do that in the first one too.
in the first and second one, you got, like, a single upgrade, but there was
Oh, I
actually,
see.
like, if... In the third one, there was, like, if you had all the parts upgraded, I think, like, at the very last level, there was a pit you could drop down and get like a special gold suit of armor.
Mhm.
And I remember just being like feeling so stoked about having that, even though you got it for such a small portion of the game.
Right.
So to me, like that gold armor was always like the defining look for Mega Man. once it got to that X series, and then you never got it again. But it's like you could kind of do that in Mega Man X5 as well.
Right.
I think there were a bunch of different suits of armor you could get, and you could play through as Zero, and you could get him a black suit of armor as well.
Cool.
The one thing that I do remember feeling pretty cool about from the just a lore point of view was how there was the Mega Man series, and then it went into Mega Man X, and there was all this lore, like you knew Dr. Light was involved somehow, and then there were hints that Dr. Wily was involved, but then it went back to like the Mega Man series, and that's where they revealed that it was like Dr. Wily that built Zero.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool to get to play these like and have this story reveal happening.
Yeah. The pacing of that, or I don't know about pacing. The I guess the way they did that, as you were playing the first one. I mean, I don't think they got that far, but just kind of the unveiling of everything was a lot of fun. I thought that was one of the things that maybe that they went. I mean, that pushed them to call it X, like it was yet another differentiator. But just kind of the story bits that were interwoven with the game, that was done a lot better than in the previous games. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Well, I remember we went to a KG Inafune talk at PAX a few years ago.
Right.
And one of the things that he was saying was that when they were making Mega Man X, the main character was supposed to be Zero. Like that was who he was intending. You were going to be the playable character, and then the upper people at Capcom were basically like, "No, we don't trust this. We got to use the Mega Man name," and so they changed it to be Mega Man.
Were they still gonna call it like Rockman X or whatever?
I think so, but he was going to be like a vastly different character.
So maybe that was
And,
it was
and
supposed
they
to
were
be
like
the difference there.
worried. Yeah, and they were worried that it was too different, and so they brought it back in line with being like the blue character again with the Mega Buster, right? Or X Buster.
Yeah. I went to that same talk, I think. I don't remember the details as well as you, but that would have been cool.
I remember transcribing it all for our Sprixelsoft website.
All of it? Did you record it?
Yeah.
Were you allowed to record it?
Yeah. No idea, but I did. Sprixelsoft in Fune.
I actually will go back and read all of it because I'm interested.
Yeah, September 4th, 2013, Mighty Number 9 Q&A at PAX Prime 2013.
Awesome.
Did I? Oh yeah, so I totally did transcribe it.
Just the whole thing? Wow, awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, we never get in trouble for this, so.
Yeah, so he says, so with Mega Man X, actually, it was the first time I really got to be in charge of everything, the design and the story, the art. And so I really wanted to sort of surprise people by having the main character be Zero, but still calling it a Mega Man game, because people would be like, what's going on? Where's Mega Man? However, internally, people said, this does not look like Mega Man. Fair enough. So ultimately, what I was able to do after that was I, of course, designed Mega Man into the game, making him the main character. But I took all the coolest parts and I left them for Zero, which is why Zero's such a badass.
Awesome. I like my favorite comment from this. I do remember this actually was talking about the how the Japanese art style wouldn't work in America, and he was like, "Man, Americans, man." Funny.
Totally accurate.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're coming.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that day because I managed to get my I handmade, or I didn't handmade, but I hand designed and had made a Mega Man 2 tie, and Inafune autographed it. And he was just like, yeah, when he saw it, he was like, he didn't know any English. He barely knows English to talk it, but he was like, whoa, nice tie.
Awesome. That would feel good, to be like the creator or one of the creators of this well-loved franchise, and then like literally like, man, almost 30 years later, people are like bringing you their homemade memorabilia to sign and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I would just be like, yep, I did it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah,
I think the original games are kind of more what I'm familiar with. So amongst those, quick, best music, best game.
Mega Man 3 for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I loved the music for that. Like I was never really into electronic music, but even Sparkman's music did it for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Wow, that's boring. I would give the exact same answer, honestly. I often, so when people ask me, I like to tell them 2, 3, 5 are my favorites. Which really 3 is kind of my favorite, and then 5 and 2 are like right there, like right there. But music-wise, yeah, 3 was awesome. I really liked 4 as well. I like 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. I liked all the music.
Yeah.
5 had that really cool like blues castle theme or whatever, Proto Man's castle theme or whatever. That was cool. And 6 had Nightman. 3 had Sparkman and Top Man and the intro and Dr. Wily. 2 had Dr. Wily. There's just like so many awesome themes, but I would give it probably to 3.
I'd say if you ever get the chance, give Mega Man X 3 and 5 a shot.
Oh, I'm working on it. They're on my list.
Great.
Yeah. Which one? Okay, so for X, eventually they start to suck horribly. I'm told by like everyone, like at 6, 7, 8 or something. They go 3D.
Yeah, I think 6 is where they decided to have procedural level generation.
And was it not done well?
So, I mean, I honestly can't remember whether I even played it, but just the idea that the level would be different each time you played it, I had just played Breath of Fire 5, which had a procedural dungeon system, and I was just like, no, this isn't for me. I want something that's been intentionally crafted.
Fair.
So I just never ever tried X7 or beyond.
Huh. Okay, well, I intend to get to it at some point before I die, so I guess I'll give you my impressions at that point.
Okay.
All right, so we...
You're going to be calling me up when you're 80. I'm like, okay, so I finally tried X7.
It's possible. By then, X will have actually moved on a little bit, and I'll still be griping about how there's like 20 more Mega Man games to play. But
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to do another podcast specifically dedicated to a breakdown of the best Mega Man music. I think
that could fill a whole podcast for sure. Definitely. I'll have to do some prep for that one. Just listen to soundtracks all week or something.
Yeah. And send me the list so I can play them.
Awesome. All right, brother. Well, we agree on 3. That's funny.
All right. So there you go. Anyone that's listening, if you have never played a Mega Man game, play Mega Man 3.
Or just play them all. Just buy that collection.
Yeah.
Start with 3, and then go through them.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool, man. Take care.
All right.
Dr. Wiwi.
Laters.
Yeah.